Beautiful human. Today, I want to talk to you about a concept that I call proximity offers and the mindset piece and the logic behind it. Because most creators, including myself, pre-2023, I thought that more offers created more revenue and more profit in the business. And, when I was doing the agency, we primarily did web design, but then we started offering branding and SEO and paid ads and email marketing and this and that, right? Or when I started, my consultancy, Modern Maker, I had a course and a low ticket product and a mentorship and done for you elements. So, that basically scattered a lot of my attention, right? And today I want to tell you about the mechanics behind the offer that I sort of created and why, because I feel it's a little bit of a time trap, right? If we think about what I just said here, we've got cherries, we've got strawberries, we've got apples, we've got watermelon. I've got an offer portfolio, right? But each one of these, the same way, as if I had a magical supermarket here with all these fruit, I'd need to update it. I'd need to look at the delivery. I'd need to give each individual component sales efforts, improve one, then improve the other. If I didn't improve, let's say the apple here, it would start lagging while the strawberries and the watermelons would start to perform better. So it almost feels like we are juggling multiple businesses and not just scaling one. So when I was looking at Modern Maker, when I first started it and I had all of these, a low ticket community and then a higher one and then this and then that, I always felt that I was, everywhere. And then I was going, okay, the workshops are doing better, probably because they're more aligned with me. But, this low ticket thing isn't doing as much, or it's soaking up all my energy. So when it comes to this offer portfolio, the same way we're looking at this fruit over here, I think of them as standalone offers, right? They divide your time, they dilute your focus, and they don't compound unless you're looking to sort of scale a team around it, which isn't the thing that I wanted to do. So about 2 years ago, I ditched that mess and I built what I call a proximity offer, right? Instead of having these standalone ones that would just sort of, live together, coexist, but need attention. So what did I do? Proximity to me is basically monetizing access. So I think of this as a little bit of a ladder, right? And the higher up the ladder you go, i.e. the closer you get to me, the more I can charge. But this way, our little friend here, the ladder, is basically one system that scales with that intimacy layer. And I tripled my recurring revenue and cut my workload by 20 hours a week as soon as this happened, because it was one offer with multiple levels of access, right? So I nowadays only take client calls on Mondays, on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays. I don't work Wednesdays and Fridays. So it's a 3-day week for me. And I've scaled this to 7 figures, right? So the way that I think about this proximity ladder or proximity offer, right, how we go up, is at the first level, we've got an asset. And an asset could be a tool, it could be a training, it could be a workshop, it could be something that you create for your existing clients, and then you're probably selling it to leads to turn them into customers, right, on your email list, for example. But tier 1 would be the asset or the product, if you like. Tier 2, you can have like a little bit more proximity. That could be a group coaching offer or like group setting, right, where you have people in that group. So anyone that is in that group container also gets access to the asset library or that specific asset, right? Tier 3 could be bolting on chat to that. So it could be school plus a Discord group. So people get faster access and they also have the asset library. And then tier 4 is, one-on-one. So the one-on-one people might get the asset, they might get the group, they get the chat, and they get a Zoom link to chat to you one-on-one, and maybe, one-on-one WhatsApp access or whatever it may be. And the way that I think of this little ladder over here is that it is one offer with different levels of proximity, right? And it makes things so much better when I look at it that way, because then I've only got one little thing to think about. So, and I rent this like a little bit of a phone bill, right? So to me, the way I think about it is you don't pay $5,000 once off for lifetime data on your phone, right? You might pay something like $99 a month. And that allows for you to stay subscribed, right? So that's the same way that I market these in weekly recurring revenue, right? So it's a much easier yes, because the common denominator is much smaller than saying, hey, this is a $5,000 program versus saying it's $100 a week. So what this does is it creates no endless launches, no need to actually chase clients. I don't need to stand up and look like a clown on a free webinar funnel and all that bollocks. It also improves the core asset over here. And every tier benefits from every time that you improve the asset. So my time isn't split, it's actually multiplied, and people higher up the ladder require less assets and more of my time. So think about that for a moment. We don't want to stack products. We want to start layering proximity. And if we want to create, more velocity and bring more clients through the door, what we want to do is rent it, right? So by renting it, think of a subscription model, the same way Netflix and Spotify and Google Drive and Dropbox and Calendly and whatever it is we use in our day-to-day as entrepreneurs, everybody is renting their services to you. So why can't we rent our coaching and consulting or, sort of services? Why are we the only ones that are left out? So what I wanted to leave you with today is the difference between an offer portfolio and a proximity offer that has a proximity ladder where we basically market vertically inwards once we have clients versus having standalone offers that we have to maintain. So I hope that was useful and got your thinking hats on. I'm also going to leave a link in the description below to a little bit more context on that proximity offer, and you can take a look. If you enjoyed this, you can hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.